When I went into the hole for assaulting a correctional officer, they gave me a year across the board. They sent me to a Pontiac Correctional Center, one of the worst prisons in our state, and they said, Xavier, you have also lost a year of good time. While there in Pontiac Correctional Center, I was now locked behind a door with a small chuck hole. I had no television, no radio, I barely had reading materials. I had a Bible and a couple other novels, things that were there that I can read through to keep my mind preoccupied. I was exercising, I was praying. I was also going through the existential crisis of loneliness and isolation and sadness. And in that cell is when I began to also reflect upon Pedro Martinez, the 14-year-old child who died as a result of my actions. While in that cell, I had to come to face myself and who I really was. I had to come to face the childhood that I had lived. The sad reality is that I had never in my heart really wanted to harm anyone, but I made some horrible mistakes. When I went out to the yard in Pontiac Correctional Center for that very 2 to 3 time opportunities during my solitary confinement, there was always one individual playing basketball by himself. And I never thought much about it. I knew he was across the walkway, the gun tower was above us. I never thought to reach out and yell, hey, nothing. I was in my own world. And I remember going out there with several other inmates, and they allowed us to combine our hours together to play basketball, to use a half court to be able to keep ourselves entertained, at least for 2 to 3 hours. And I remember asking one of the guys there with me, I said, man, what's up with old boy over there? Why is he always playing basketball by himself? Because I didn't quite understand it. I assaulted a correctional officer, and yet I could still interact with other inmates. What did this guy do that he can't be with anyone? I remember one of the older inmates, he said, man, it's because he's on death row. And it was in that moment that I looked over across that walkway again. I had looked at him. I tried to search his face. I tried to understand what was going through his mind. What could he possibly be thinking? What is the point of even getting out of your bed every morning? What do you have that allows you to put your shoes on and walk out, to even throw that ball into that hoop? And I wrestled with this, and I went back to my cell, and I remember getting emotional. I remember thinking to myself, like, how could human beings do that to another human being? What could he possibly be going through? I remember also thinking to myself that Xavier, man, perhaps it's just one little thing. Maybe it's hope. Maybe it's just hope. Maybe he hopes the judge will have a change of heart. Maybe he hopes something will exonerate him. Maybe he just has hope. And I thought to myself, Xavier, if he has hope, why do you act as if you have no hope? Why do you allow yourself to go down this very negative and destructive trajectory? What are you doing with your life? Xavier, if you don't get out of trouble, you're going to be here for the rest of your life. In fact, you might end up on death row with him. It was in that cell that I came to decide that I was not going to live that life forever. That someday I was going to be out of prison, and I was going to be able to live what I'm going to say again, is simply a normal life. And with that, I'm going to tell you, the light had never shone so bright, and hope had never been so powerful in my life. I ended up getting involved in my academics once again. I ended up earning an Associate of Arts, Associates in General Education. I ended up getting a bachelor's degree in social science, had a 4.0 GPA, was inducted into the Franklin Honor Society for Outstanding Scholarship, and I excelled academically, grew spiritually, and I was able to realize a dream that was slowly becoming real, that my out date was approaching. When I came out at the age of 26 years old, with a remorseful heart and an education, I came out with a desire to simply live a normal life, and when I came to discover that God would not allow that, a normal life was not something that he was going to give me, but that in fact I would still learn along the way, that I would still make mistakes, that I would make horrible, dumb decisions, that I would continue to grow as an adult in free society, that I would discover my purpose. And with that, I'm going to say it truly is never too late. I want to allow them to share, but I also want to say one very thing that's very important. There's no such thing as a throwaway child. And all children deserve a chance for positive change. Thank you.